The new 1370 The Buzz. The Buzz.
Thanks for tuning in to Suki Says on 1370. I have on the line Katrina Law, who you can see at Wizard World Comic Con in June. And yeah, you can see her in Spartacus Vengeance. So let's bring her on. Hi, Katrina. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I am wonderful. I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about Spartacus and your role.
Spartacus is about the title character named Spartacus, who has had his freedom and everything taken away from him, forced into slavery, and then is in the process of forming rebellion and finding freedom and fighting for vengeance and love and everything that goes along with it. And I play Mira. She is a former house slave of the House of Batiatus, and she, in vengeance, is on the run with Spartacus and the rest of the rebels. So, yeah.
She seems like a very, very complicated woman.
I think complicated is a good way to describe her. I think one of her journeys that she went through was figuring out who she was, because when she was a house slave, she was born a slave and never really had freedom or an option to choose her life, what she ate, what she wore, who she slept with, what she did with her day. And all of a sudden, now that she's on the run with Spartacus and rebels, everything is wide open to her. So she's trying to figure out where she fits into this new world and what role she can play.
So what do you find the hardest thing about going through that journey as the character?
I think one of the most difficult things in general for the entire show was being afraid of death every day. Because as a modern-day girl, you just kind of wander through life, and yeah, you might get worried about getting hit by a bus or something, but you're not worried about somebody punishing you or potentially killing you for not doing the dishes correctly or for not obeying them to the T. So I think that was a very difficult journey for me as well. But also in Vengeance, I think it was difficult to watch Mira go through the journey of falling in love with Spartacus, fighting for his love, and then not necessarily getting it. Because as I watch this character, I just want to say to her, girl, he's just not that into you.
Find yourself another man.
Yes, I felt really bad for her, but unfortunately I think a lot of women and men have been in that situation where they've loved something or wanted something and have just not gotten it in return, and it's heartbreaking, and it's very difficult for the individual to move on, or for them to see it clearly, first of all, and then to move on. So it was trying, because I just wanted to shake her a couple of times.
Well, that makes her so relatable. So relatable.
Yeah. And I think that was it was an interesting thing, because I think she was a very polarizing character, where people loved her or they hated her. And I think the ones that hated her, I guess they could have a lot of reasons, but I think a lot of them identified with her too well. And they were just going, wait a minute, this just sucks, girl, move on. And I think it just reminded them of a lot of angst they had to go through in their life as well. So
yeah. Now you get some truly fantastic outfits and wardrobe pieces, can I say. And so I'm just wondering, do you ever feel like, slipping out the door with some of that stuff?
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what I didn't do at the end of the season with my costume and props.
You put it all back.
Yes, I put it all back
all
in the prop department and where it's supposed to be, and it's definitely not in my house hanging on my wall. No,
you don't wear it like randomly in the house when you're alone at all.
No, I don't dance around in it. No, at all.
Oh, I so would.
Yeah.
It's a very physical role too.
Yes.
So, and you have always been a physical person. Now, are you a black belt?
I am. I'm a black belt in karate. It's Taekwondo. So my punches are kind of useless, so I don't even bother with them. But if I really wanted to defend myself, I would just kick somebody. So I guess there's that. But I grew up being a dancer my entire life. So when it came to choreography and learning the fights, it was pretty easy. I think the biggest challenge was making Mira look messy, because she was never trained as a fighter, and she was kind of in the script described as a wild child, fighting out of instinct and fear and panic. And then eventually she starts to learn the bow, and she has a natural inclination towards it, I guess is that the right word. So she ends up picking that up very quickly. But at the beginning it was a lot of fun, just because I got to just throw myself around.
That is a lot of fun. I did a little bit of fight choreography in college, and so the scrappy fighting is some of the most fun.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, look
Did
at
you
me.
do a lot of hair pulling?
Yes, and like the kicking and the rolling around on the ground and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, it does make a day go by quicker when you get to do that.
When you get to throw a girl down and beat the crap out of her for looking at Spartacus.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, are you excited for the convention? Is this your first one?
No, I've actually done 2 conventions now, and I love conventions. I think they're so great. It's one of the few times as an actor that you actually get to say thank you to the fans truly and genuinely, and get to interact with them, and just basically thank you for the support. And I also think it's great that for people that are so into the comics and into the whole sci-fi and sword and sandal and that whole fantasy realm, that they actually have a place where they can go and converse with people that have the same interests. I think it's really fun and cool.
Now, what's something that you want to hear from fans? Like, you hope to hear from them when they come up and meet you, get something signed, take a picture. What's something that you want to have come out of their mouth?
Huh.
Yeah, I saved the hard questions for last.
There's so many. I think I like the randomness. I think that's the beauty of having fans coming up to you. You just don't ever know what they're going to say. I guess as long as it's not completely offensive. And I guess I'm just kind of, I think that's the beauty of it.
I like it.
I don't know what I would want them to say. I hope they would be happy. And so there you go. But,
all right. Well, I am so glad I got to talk to you today.
So will you be at Comic-Con?
Yes, I will see you in Philly.
Okay, so how am I going to know it's you? Will you be wearing like a special hat, or will be there like a special handshake?
Oh, you'll know.
How are we going to work this out? Oh, okay.
You'll know. I'll probably
right.
just come up and give you a big hug.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe you should do it when I'm not facing you, so you can completely surprise me and shock me.
You know what? I do that to people. I kid you not. All right. Well, be safe until then. Stay busy.
Thank you. I will. You do as well.
Take care.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
That was Katrina Law, and you can see her in Spartacus Vengeance. She is she plays a fantastic, just deep, amazing character. So check her out. She's awesome. She's going to be at the Wizard World Philadelphia Comic-Con this summer, first weekend in June. So, yeah, Katrina Law.